Okay, so today's call will be like a little what I call very short duration, not a full duration like 1.5 hours or something. We'll start with the introductions today and mainly couple of introduction related to what exactly the Revenue Cloud talks about, what all features are available in Revenue Cloud, what all licenses that we need to cover, and what all settings that we need to enable. I think you both have received my credentials, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you for the confirmation. So as you see my screen, are you able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
So if you see in this particular Word doc file that we have created, and also we have created a folder for you both people to where you can have your all document related to the training that we are going through. Am I
Okay.
audible?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. So now coming to the part called where we are talking about the setup, the Revenue Cloud, we are going to discuss about how the product catalog management is going to work. We are going to talk about the pricing. Of course, the price waterfall model, which come all across all CPQ platform, whether you talk about Oracle CPQ, whether you talk about Salesforce CPQ, whether you talk about Kanga CPQ, all are same actually in a context of you call configure price and quoting model. Now moving forward, we'll discuss about the how we are going to configure the product. We'll talk about the quotations and order management processes, where we are going to see the how the quotation is being shared by the sales rep to the customers, including in the Revenue Cloud, what all permission set we are going to assign, what all business rule we are going to apply, whether it is a pricing, discounting rules, or any configurations rules, right? And we'll also give you the what I call the comparison between the CPQ and the Revenue Cloud. What is there in the CPQ, what is not there in RLM, and what is not there in CPQ also, and vice versa. Including we'll talk about the product catalog management, and then we'll discuss about the orders, the asset lifecycle, the renewals, the amendments, and also not the last and least, we'll talk about the advance approval also. And very soon, the advance approval concept, which we currently see in our Salesforce standard R, they are going to launch through the new flow design in this, I think in summer 25 release, right? So as you know, like Salesforce is like upgrading lots of cloud features, and one of these are called approval. The standard approval flow will not be longer as usual. So very soon they are coming with the flow advanced based approval actually, and that is going to be support too many things down the line, which we call parallel approval, which we call smart approval, which we call sequential approval also, right? Now, these particular training material that I have showing you currently, these are all steps that we are going to follow. These are all practical based scenario where you and both team, Rakesh and Akash, is going to do a hands-on. Aman from my team is also having a more than 5 to 6 years of experience, mainly and purely working on a Salesforce, Sales Cloud, CPQ, Service Cloud, and the Experience Cloud actually. But he has a very vast experience in CPQ and RLM actually. He has conducted almost, I think, more than 200 hours of training in RLM, including he has conducted, meaning that training means he is not just attended, he was the part of where he was a trainer actually. So he has also trained on a Revenue Cloud platform. Okay. And he is currently working with me and managing my all CPQ and Revenue Cloud. He's heading a team here in our organizations and managing my all Revenue Cloud project altogether. And he generally used to helping me in all in and outs of projects. For me, I am Amul. I have a 10 year of experience in Salesforce, mainly and purely working on a Salesforce technology. But I am also curious to know the other technologies like ChatGPTs and Genforce and the Sales Cloud, the new features which is coming. And I am also exploring on a Joho platform. Have a good hands-on experience in Joho creators. I have built, I think, probably more than 10 projects on a Joho creators platform. I love the Joho because it's very useful, it's very cost oriented also. Anyways, I'm not going to like advertise the Zoho here, but mainly and purely focusing on our revenue lifecycle management course and content. Okay. Now, in down the line in the meeting itself, we'll talk about the what all licenses that we are going to enable. We'll talk about the what all features that we have to enable before we start working on it, before we start configuring on it. And these are all exercise that we are going to conduct, whether we talk about contact definitions, whether you talk about processing procedures, whether you talk about, second, 1 second, pause, just a second. All right. So all right. So in terms of like exercise, we are going to conduct exercise on a catalog, how we are going to create a catalog in a system, what catalog meaning is that. And then we'll discuss about the category, how the category will fall into the catalog management. We'll discuss about how the dynamic attributes. Dynamic attributes is in a CPU like attribute we have, right? We have a public attribute and the private to that attribute, right? Where we see the picklist values going to be enabled or attached to the particular product. And so we'll discuss about these dynamic attributes also in our Salesforce RLM behavior. We'll discuss about our simple and bundle product actually, where we will see the complex bundles also. We'll discuss about the qualifications rule where we are going to restrict the product, where we are going to what do you call the restrict the selections, right? We talk about the product rule selections and the product warnings, product alerts, right? And
so the qualification rule is equivalent to the product rules in CPQ?
exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
And what is the difference between qualification rule and business rules?
Business rules are talks about your the pricing model. Okay. And the qualification rule talks about whether this particular product and configurations are available and applicable to the product that we have been selecting on the code.
Okay.
So we'll discuss about the IMDQ. They have also introduced the IMDQ procedures in Salesforce RLM. And the pricing, of course, the price waterfall. They also follow the price waterfall model here in Salesforce RLM. And we'll discuss about all this price waterfall model. And then validation rule, of course, similar to your product rule. And advanced approval workflows we'll discuss in detail. We will also talk about the user experiences where we are going to see the contract, the order, renewal, amendment. These features we'll discuss in one by one. And the twin field, as we see like in twin field in a CPQ is a very good features they have in CPQ to rather than creating any workflows or creating any flows or doing any Apex triggers and so on. So we have call from the top to bottom, you see the all field values are being populated from the product to the quote line and the quote line to the order line and the order line to your subscription and contract line, right?
Okay.
So we discuss about the twin field, how we are going to introduce. For the user UI UX purpose, we'll see what all UX flows that we have to modify. Here in Salesforce RLM, everything is depending on your flows actually. So we do have different screen flows, different flows, which we are going to discuss down the line in the exercise, and we'll see how if we are changing the flows, if we are introducing a new field, how the UI and UX can be managed through these flows. Okay. Now I'm moving to the one more slide where I would like to discuss more onto the revenue cloud. And you see, these are all list of components that you see on screen where we will talk about like a catalog management. We'll talk about the CPQ features where where Salesforce sales rep is going to configure the deal. And then they are going to do the pricing and discounting. And then they are going to seek the advance approval. CPQ advance approval is like RLM advance approval is totally defined through the flow that I will discuss in detail how to configure those discount approval for parallel approval, the sequence error approval, your manager level approval, and so. Okay. Once the quote is being sent to the customers, once the quote is accepted, and then we generate to the contract or run the contract or execute the contract here.
Amul, one question here. Sorry to interrupt. So this code creation, is that anything different from Salesforce code creation, CPQ code creation? Or is there any e-signature part introduced or any kind of automation introduced in this, or it's again manual?
If you talk about the Salesforce CPQ and the Revenue Cloud code, the
Yeah.
Salesforce CPQ is a managed package actually. So they are saying the SBQQ underscore code underscore C.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But
Right.
here, if you talk about in RLM, we don't have any custom object. We are using the standard code object actually. The one that you see in your Sales Cloud. The
Right.
one. Okay. This is what we are going to use in our RLM cloud. Okay. The Revenue Cloud.
Yeah.
And if you talk about the contract management, because they have introduced the Omni Studio generation, right? Omni Studio document generation. As I do not have the license actually, so I'm unable to like show you that features and so. So, but definitely I will talk about the contract, the order lifecycle, the asset lifecycle. I don't have this license also in the billing invoicing part of here. So these are all like bill subscription, how the subscription works and how the assets are being created, how the assets we are going to take it into the renewals and amendment process that I will discuss in detail also. But the answers to your questions, the Salesforce CPQ is like managed package. The Revenue Cloud is totally a Salesforce cloud platform. It works as similar to your Sales Cloud. Like in Sales Cloud, we have lead account, code, lead account, contact opportunity, and the code and code line item, product and pricing and everything, right? So similarly, like Revenue Cloud also uses your standard what do you call the code and code line item, including the assets and order management actually. So these are all they have been using mainly and purely standard object provided into the Salesforce Sales Cloud environment. And in terms of if you're talking about the e-signature, of course, e-signature does not comes by default with the Revenue Cloud also.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Now,
Amal, another question. So I heard that even the end user, they are facing some challenges because of the complexity to create any product and configuring it properly.
the
So what is your view on this? Because I know I already told you, right? I am following since ages, right? So I learned through your video on Salesforce CPQ when I started.
yeah,
And I am working with a company as a manager. I'm managing Salesforce CPQ project still, but they
yeah.
are planning to migrate into RCA, which is, I mean, you are using RLM, but Salesforce already introduced, and they are saying that as RCA, right? Revenue Cloud Advanced instead of
They're
RLM.
saying same thing, just renaming it as a
Yeah,
Revenue.
rename as, yes, yes.
Yes.
So, how difficult it will be? I mean, I just want to hear from you how difficult it will be, or how challenging it will be to migrate from Salesforce CPQ to RCA.
It depend on the capability in within the team actually. Okay,
Mhm.
not 100% like I cannot say like 100% totally on a like Salesforce side. It totally
Mhm.
depending on the how the team have those capability, right? In terms of if
Okay.
you are planning to migrate from CPQ to the RLM, of course you can do that. But there are lots of things that you need to explore. There are thousands of steps that you have to follow because in Salesforce CPQ, it's like just a object row records creation, nothing
Yeah.
else, right?
Yeah.
But
Right.
even if you talk about the Revenue Cloud, every features are totally depending on lots of configurations, lots of steps are involved actually.
Okay.
Okay,
So
it's
it will
not
be
straightforward. You go and just create a record. No, not at all.
okay.
You have to take care of your flows, you have to take care of your mappings. Then once the mapping is done, you need to run the what you call the sync process also. Every time you need to run the sync process to see your what you call the changes that you are going to do. Sometimes that sync process works in a background. Sometimes you don't see that reflection upfront, but it works and runs in a background. And once it is appears, sometimes it takes maybe 24 hours also because the product is still I see. I'm not saying like it's a what I call have a problem, but of course the product itself is having lots of other challenges also because if you are not doing in a right direction, right, you might messed up with their definitions, right? The moment you started messed up with the definitions, the product will not be launched. Okay,
Right.
the pricing will not work, right? So you have to be also aware about how the pricing will work, how the setup works, how the definition you have to be taken care, right?
Okay.
Of course, it's a challenging. It's not a straightforward like a CPQ. It's a
Okay.
bit very challenging actually. But gradually, like the more you will do the practice, like it's
Right.
more like UI friendly. The more you will get the UI hands on here, then you will be probably become a master in RM.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, revenue lifecycle generation is like a similar to the one that we talked about in the previous slide actually. So this is the same life cycle is universal life cycle, right? We create a code, customers approves it, then we contract is being generated, the contract get the signed by the customers, then we convert it to the order, then order fulfillment works, then we are generating the bills and invoices, right? And if you talk about the CPQ lifecycle, the CPQ features transaction management. This ensure the code creation to the order capture experiences using these steps actually, right? So here, sales rep do the code creations, they discover the product and they configure the product and add to the particular code and the pricing happens. They apply the discounting, then they generate the contract and send it to the e-sign. And once it is being accepted, we complete the order and submit an order for further what you call the asset conversion processes and so,
Yeah.
right? Or activation and fulfillment. Okay, so I talked about these two like a document. One is like in course item that we are going to cover and the introductions. I do not want to like much invest on this RLM, what do you call this standard, right? It's nothing is a rocket science we are talking here, correct? Now, of course, we are going to also discuss about some very primary things, which is very, very, very much important before you proceed further. Here we talk about the contact definitions and the pricing procedures actually, and the decision tables. Not only this, it's called decision tables also. All right, so before we dig into this particular slide deck, I would like to ask Aman to share his screen. Let's try to enable few things. One is called from the backend, what all things that we require to enable, okay, these features, the toggle button, okay. And then second, we are going to also discuss about what are licenses, the permission set that we are going to assign before we kick off with any configurations into the system. All right, so I'm stopping my screen sharing and then I will let Aman go and start sharing his screen.
Hi Akash and Rakesh, good afternoon.
Yeah. Hi, Aman.
Good
Yeah,
afternoon, Aman.
yeah. So let me share my screen and I will let you know what major things you have to own in the backend so that you have all the access of RLM and everything. So I already created your user, both user, and you will receive a mail. So you just reset your password and when you log in, I will update you what permission set and licenses you have to assign to a user so that you can configure RLM in your role. So before starting with permission and licenses, we have some backend toggle buttons we need to own. So one is you have to come to setup and search for revenue setting. So these all are new features that comes with RLM. So you have to first enable order, enable new order, say behavior. So these all are disabled when you create your org. And this is the main toggle button you have to own to get started with Revenue Cloud. One time it is enabled, you're not able to disable it. And another is this for quote, order, pricing, configuration. So you have these toggle buttons, setup codes. So you have to enable it. When you enable it, you're able to create codes or you're able to see the UI when you enable it. And you have to, when you enable all these toggle buttons, you're able to see some other objects. Unless until you enable it, you're not able to see the objects in the UI. So main thing is this, and another is this product configurator. So I will let you know what is this, and I already enable this, but when you start your RLM work, you have to enable it, and I will let you update you what is the use of this product configurator button and what. So configuration rule is similar to our product rule and price rule. So first we have to assign permissions to the user so that the user can create product rule and price rule. And second part is you have to enable this toggle button. When you enable this toggle button, you are able to see the object here called product configuration rule. So here we don't have price rule and product rule, two different objects. We only have one object called product configuration rule. So this object you are able to see when you enable this toggle button setup configuration rule. And this is ramp deal are similar to our MDQs. So here everything first you have to assign the license and permission set. Then you have to enable this toggle button. Then you are able to create those products, those price rule, product rules. So one setting is this by the name of revenue setting. Another setting we have to set up in backend is Salesforce pricing setup. So here we have 2 3 buttons. One is price waterfall, so we have to enable this, and this is for the pricing, how you want to calculate your pricing based on proration multiplier similar to CPQ. And we have this button called sync button pricing. So this is mainly used for whenever you create a product and you add a price book entry related to that product, and if you not able to see the product in your quote line item, so you come to backend and click on this sync button. When you click on this sync button, your pricing will be synced. It will take 2 to 3 minutes to sync, and after the pricing is synced, we able to see our products in the UI. Then we have one more thing here. We have to own.
Hey, Aman, just one thing. Like each time we create a product and its price book, we have to come here and click on sync.
Yeah, for the moment, this is the process. We when we create a product, every time we need to come here. So here we have two options. So this basically sync all the pricing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you one thing here. So here we have tables for every entries. Like for price book entry, we have this lookup table called price book entry table. So when I click on this, you're able to see all the entries for price book entry for that particular product.
Okay.
Okay. And if we want to give volume discounting to a particular product, so every record will be come up here in volume discounting. So when we click on this sync button, all these decision table you see here, lookup table,
Mm-hmm.
all will be updated. But if we want to just refresh only particular table, so we have one more option here called decision table. Here we also see all the tables, and just click on individual table. Let's say price book entry, and we have a refresh button here. Just click on the refresh button. Just it will take 1 or 2 minutes. Then our pricing will be synced. So for the moment, yes, we need to click on this refresh button every time whenever we create a new entry for any product or any volume discounting, bundle discounting, or any type of entries related to price
Mm-hmm.
we create in RLM. We need to refresh the tables, and in
Oh,
we yeah, if in future they will allow that you no need to create, so we'll see. But for the moment, we need to click on this refresh button every time when we create a
Yeah, this is
uh,
what the like how this Salesforce RLM is being defined and configured, right? So the only the challenge that I see, so let's suppose you have been like frequently like introducing a new product after a product, right? So the only one challenge is like as a admin, you are not supposed to like go and create a product go and add the pricing and then refresh. No, not at all. Once you have all the product are defined, once you have added all the pricing logics and everything, then come here and then update your the GP table or refresh your thing pricing table, right? So this is how the limitations, the one limitation which I see, like there is a time interval. Within that time interval, you can refresh at least I think 10 times or 20 times or 24 times or something. Beyond that, if
20 times per hour
yeah, 20 times per
we
hour.
can refresh.
But if you start refreshing every minute or something, then there will be like what you call lock behavior actually will happen. So you will see the other errors or so and so. So better to be very careful with before we hit any sync options here.
Okay.
Yeah, just create your product one time and add the price book entry, then come here and just refresh one
Okay.
time. Yeah. So another thing here we have is product discovery setting. So here we have some toggle buttons. These are basically for your product visibility. You have to enable it. This qualification rule is basically used for your search filter. Like we have search filter in CPQ. So this is qualification rule is similar to our search filter. So
Okay.
you have to enable it. Let me show you here one time. So when you enable it, this option will come. So this is your search filter flow. So you have to just select your qualification procedure, and when you select it, whatever entry we have here, which product you want to show, which note, so this will be come up from here. So for the moment I will deactivate this. So we will learn how to enable all these things. So these are the basic settings. You have to enable it, and then we have permission set and licenses. So these are the licenses that you need to assign to a full admin user that you want to give so that he can have full RLM access. So these are the licenses, 20-25 licenses you need to assign to a user. And then another is permission sets. So these are the permission sets we have here. These are basically related to our all the things that we need to create: contract,
Alright, so we
product discovery, pricing, tax calculation, doc generation. So everything in product configurator, unless until you give this permission, you're not able to have the ability to create or edit or delete the different products accordingly.
let's go to that users and just show him a one permission set and one license actually so that we can see.
Yeah. So here we have one user, basically this Amit. No, this is unassigned. Let me show you here Amul. So here you see we assigned more than 22 licenses I assigned to this full admin user. Wait a minute.
So let's suppose I become like an admin, right? So until
Yeah,
once I become an admin, it is not only that I do have access of RLM actually, right?
yeah.
So
You need to assign all these
licenses.
licenses first: business rule
Yeah.
engine,
Yeah.
designer, product catalog. You see here contract lifecycle. So product attribute. Here you see docgen, and mainly this fulfillment one is here RLM revenue. Yeah, here this is the one that we have. So we have one this. So this is the major license you need to assign to user. Here you see all the objects that have read, write, create, view, all access that are related to RLM, like catalog, category, fulfillment order, everything.
This is
So
the
these
primary.
are the, yeah, primary one is this product catalog management. So here, if you see, let me show you on UI. So product catalog management is this UI. So if you want to give a user product catalog management access, you need to assign this to a user. It is not here. Let me log in here. Sales product catalog management. So these all are the, when you click on product category management, you're able to see all these product classification. These all are objects, new objects that introduced by Salesforce to implement the RLM in your org.
You see the
And
big
then
list, right? It's a complex, right? You see the big list here, right?
Yeah.
So we
yeah,
talk
attribute
about
definition, category, pick list, product selling model, product configuration rule, and some object, other object are like price adjustment schedule, price adjustment tier. So all these are new objects and new entries, new fields. So we will see how to implement that. So derived pricing is also there. Everything we have here. So you just need to assign that licenses. So these all are licenses you need to assign to a particular user. Then you're able to implement RLM in your org. And another thing is licenses. So these all are license that you need to give to a user, like create contract from order, document, use and designer. One is place order, pricing, product catalog designer, viewer. So these all are licenses you need to assign. So
So, Aman, so these all permission sets and the license we also need to assign to ourselves, right?
yeah, we will assign to you tomorrow when we done our next classes. So you both by yourself do the hands-on. I will
Yeah,
tell you what licenses and permissions that you assign to yourself, and then we will start working on.
sure.
So one more overview I will give you about one thing. So here we have,
Yeah, before that, those two thing you told, right? One was editor and schedule, tier, some product
yeah,
tier and product
yeah,
schedule,
price adjustment tier, yeah,
price adjustment tier and schedule, right? So,
yeah.
are those like block price and discount schedule or different?
These are basically for discounting. So let's suppose you have volume based discounting. So you need to come to this particular object and you just create an entry here. And when you create an entry, your volume discounting will be applied to that particular product. Like in CPQ, we have just discount schedule. You just create a
Right.
discount schedule, enter
Mm-hmm.
the lower bound, upper bound, whether you want to give percentage or amount. You just assign that tier values and just assign it to the product. But here we have different things. So we need to create entries for every product for every upper bound and lower bound.
Okay.
So here as example, we have some example here. Let's see this one. AI specialist training. Let me arrange here. You see. So in CPU, we just need to create one discount schedule and assign it to the product. But here is not that case. So if you want to give volume based discounting, so you need to create entries for a particular product. Here, let's suppose you have 10 lower bound and upper bound entries. So you have to create 10 entries for that particular products. So if you have 10 products, so you have to create 100 entries for that. So for
Okay.
we have this particular option here in
Aman, your voice is breaking.
Yeah, your voice is breaking. Can't hear you.
so we have a bundle and you want to give
one
Uh,
1 second.
yeah
Aman, can you check your internet? It's like a bit lag here actually. So you are just a
mm,
breaking out actually.
yeah,
Can you hear me now?
internet, yeah, here I am able to hear you.
Okay, you go
Yeah,
and
internet speed. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can go and speak little slow. Then
Okay.
yep.
Okay. So here we have, let's suppose we have bundle. So let me show you as example in UI how bundle will look like in RLM. Here I am on product tab, and here we have one bundle. So if you see, this is the UI for a bundle here. This is the bundle, main product. These all are attributes similar to CPQ. And if we click on this down arrow button, we able to see the child products. So these all are child product we have. And one more thing here is different from CPQ. We can preview the bundle before adding to a quote line. So here you see, this will the UI look like when you add this bundle. So you have these features and you have options in that particular feature, and this is the another feature called range, and we have child products. So this is basically the UI. So if you want to give discounting based on, let's suppose if you add one blue color with 1,000 kilometer range, you want to give discounting based on that. So you just come to this price adjustment schedule bundle based discounting and create an entry related to that particular product. Then you're able to say the discounting accordingly. So we will learn everything about it, how we will create, how we will give discounting, and how all things are different from the CPQ. Then one more thing here is main important is contact definition here.
Can you take
So
a
mainly,
pause for a moment?
yeah,
Okay, so Rakesh and Akash actually, so we have just given you the introduction about so far, right? So we talked about our RLM, okay, and how it is different from the CPQ, and we also talked about the RLM full life cycle, right? So we talked about how the licenses we are going to set up, and once you have set up your licenses, then what all a toggle button, the features that we are going to enable from the backend to see all these actions, right? To see all this UI and behavior and everything, right? So until unless you don't have the licenses assigned or permission set assigned, and then the activation is not yet done, then you will not be able to see all the tabs which is relevant to the RLM product catalog management or product pricing management or product procedures management and so on so, right? So till here, do you guys have any questions or something?
Not exactly, Amul, but we just need to, once we'll start practicing, maybe we'll get some questions. But for now, it seems okay.
No problem. So this step that that Aman is going to cover is very much important. Like this contact definition is a
Okay.
one-time setup. Okay, and then later on you can just go ahead and define and update it quickly, right?
Okay.
If you talk about like a contact definitions, is the contact definitions is talk about your what we call the attributes, right? It talks about your what do you call this is the initial steps actually, right? You have to define that business scenarios. Like we have a scenarios called we have a different transaction scenarios. We call new quotations. We have called renewal scenarios, and based on that new or renewal context, we are going to apply the pricing, right? So this contact definition is a one-time setup that you can say whenever we discuss or whenever we implement for any company for the RLM. Go ahead and discuss about the what all flow logic you have, all what all the pricing logic you have that you would like to put it here. Call based on the new quotations, what all discounting you would like to apply. So the contact definitions we talked about we are going to talk about the new transaction contact definition that we are going to set up and the pricing procedure actually. So the initial step is contact definition. The second step is called pricing procedure. The series of steps that apply the pricing logic, including the fetching the data and the applying the discounting, we call the pricing procedure, right?
Pricing
And-
procedure.
yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
So basically what happened here is, so we have to create just two contact definition when we start with RLM. One
correct.
is sales transaction context. So this is basically used for our mapping data from one object to other. If you see here, quote entities mapping, order entities, quote to contract, sales agreement. So these are basically the mappings that will pass the data from one object to another object, the all the values, all the calculations from one object to another object. So this is basically for the mappings from one object to another. Let me open it one for you and show you. So if I click on quote entities mapping and click on map, this will open in a new tab with a new screen. So it will, so when you create this will be automatically mapped by Salesforce, and if you want to map some other values, then we will map this. Let me share you one example here. I do not like this. Let me show you here quote line item.
If we create any custom field, that can also be mapped, right?
Yeah, no. First, you need to, before mapping, when you create a field, you need to map it. So we will learn how to map all these fields. So if you see here, quote line item. So these all are automatically mapped by Salesforce when you create your org. So billing frequency, all the fields that are available here, standard fields. So these all are standard field without underscore key.
Yeah,
So these all are,
mapping with whom? I mean, which object to which object?
so these are basically mapped from the tabs, tag attribute. So here we have, if you see here, context tags. You see here. So these are tags are automatically created by Salesforce. So these are mapped automatically here. And when we have values from product to quote line to order line item, and order line item to asset or asset line items. So these are mapped automatically passed from these contact definitions.
Let's
If you
suppose
see here,
you are going to like create a custom field, right? So you need to create a context first, the
yeah,
context tags.
tags.
Once you have been creating context tag, then you are going to allow to map from the parent to the child or from one object to the another object, actually.
Yeah, here we have every object, quote entities, order entities, and another asset entry entities. So these all are basically mapping. So you need to map it here. So we will learn how to map all these things when we cover our topic like twin fields. So we will know how to map all these values. So one
Yeah.
is this contact definition. Another contact definition is product discovery. This is basically used for your product visibility when you click on browse catalog. Let me show you on UI for a moment.
You see here, right? So we are using the standard codes as
Yeah, we are
similar to your
using the
cloud flow.
standard code, and here we have called browse catalog instead of edit line. These all are attributes. So when you click on, let's say, AI security, and you click on next, so you're able to see the products here. So you're able to see all this product because of this product discovery contact definition. Unless until you create this product discovery, you're not able to see the products in your UI. So one is this, and another thing here we have is pricing procedures. So pricing procedure are basically flows that will calculate our pricing. So here we have one example, this aka revenue management default pricing procedure, and this is a contact definition that we need to map here. We will create and we will map it here, and when we click on this pricing procedure, a flow will be opened. Yeah, let me show you.
So this context definition over here, it is mapped to what? Like the,
Map to pricing procedure.
no, this is pricing procedure, which is
Yeah,
mapped to.
this is mapped to your contact definition. So we need the values. So
From,
the values coming, the values that, let me show you one example here. Let's
see,
suppose I had, yeah,
if
let,
if we have to map something, then there should be two different entities, right? From one entity to another entity. Let's say one entity is pricing procedure. What would be the second entity where it would be mapped?
yeah, let me tell you with one example. So here, let's suppose we have this particular product bundle and we have map this value quantity to 3 and we click on save and exit. So we add a quantity 3 here and select the child product. So all the pricing related to this, so we give quantity 3 will be added here and we want to apply discounting and when we change the start date and date, so all these pricing will be coming from this flow. Here you see list discount, list price, so all the list pricing will be come from here. So it will be when we create this pricing procedure, it will automatically mapped here. And one thing here is this discounting, attribute based pricing, attribute discounting, bundle discounting, volume discounting, manual discounting. So all this discounting or calculation will be done by this pricing procedure. So this is one time setup. You just need to create one time this pricing procedure and all the calculation will be handled by this pricing procedure.
Just a
And
second. Wait for a moment. I would like to show something and you will understand better actually. So if you see here, you see, I think, Akash?
Yes, I can see.
So we talked about like a context definition, right? So context definition, we also see the tags. Tags are nothing but tags are associated with the objects also, right? So let's suppose we are on a product objects, right? So in a product object, we have different attributes. So those attributes are called your tags actually. And based on, we have a different attribute which may come from your customer field, which may come from your product field. And based on that, the pricing procedures triggers actually. The pricing procedures talks about your list price, your volume discount, your customer discount, or channel discount actually. So the in the context definitions, we call sales transaction context definition, and then we call the pricing procedure context definitions, and then this pricing procedures is passing the data, means calculating the data based on the context which is being provided here, okay, right? So the context definitions is the first and primary initial steps that we have to do. And we'll also discuss about the decision tables. So decision tables we are going to create based on the our company requirement. Let's suppose my company is saying that, okay, I need a volume discount based on following attribute. I need a customer discount based on the following attribute. So how we are going to introduce these decision tables, how we are going to create these decision table entry rows for each product and services, which is going to be applied further during this pricing procedure waterfall model actually. The one that Aman is showing, these are all talks about the pricing waterfall, okay, which we call pricing procedures actually.
Okay.
And okay, and within that pricing procedures, each are connected to the different decisions actually in mid of something, okay, and then after that your final pricing will run actually. So the first step is the initial step is context definition, where we are going to discuss about the transactions, and then pricing procedure, the series of steps, which is the pricing logic, which we you can say like a pricing waterfall. And within that pricing waterfall, the decision table is being used, means what a lookup table is being used. Okay, that will hold your entire data, your pricing data, your discounting data, or your logics. Okay. So these are all three major steps that we have here in Salesforce RLM. So this particular, what you call the contact definition, the pricing procedure PPT, this will show you the good hands-on, good what you call the knowledge about why we talk about what we talk about the contact definitions, what we say calling pricing procedures, what we say call decision table. But of course, you will, until unless you are not doing a hands-on, you will not be able to understand how these are all three are interconnected actually, right?
Okay.
Only one thing is the one thing that I was talking about or Aman is showing you, because there are the three-step processes involved, and that three steps you have to follow actually. Then only the pricing calculation will run. Then only your pricing waterfall will run. Then only your volume discounting and other stuff will run. Otherwise, what it happen? Your product catalog will not be open if you are not having defined your product catalog definitions, right? So those three definitions, two definitions and the one pricing procedures, these three part has to be defined. Then only your entire engine will run. Okay. And there are a basic, they have already given, but we need to just extend. We are not going to define something new, but we have to extend. That's it. We have to clone it, extend it. Simple.
Okay, okay. So we'll have to customize it according to our need, right?
Exactly, exactly. So if
Okay.
I'm just would like to give you the one example here. Okay, the contact definitions here, the contact definition called sales transaction contact definition, right? Let's suppose we have called different transaction type where we are going to do the new sale or renewal sale or upsell. And based on my account type, let's suppose my account has a SMB mid-size account or we have enterprise account, right? And then we have called quote ID, then we have called related ID. These are all called what? These are all called tags, right? The one
Mm-hmm.
that Aman was showing you, right? In a contact definition, right? You saw that tags, right?
Yeah.
Then what it happened based on these tags, we do have a like a mapping here, right? So what it happened, the context, hold on. This context is passed to the pricing engine and the pricing logic will act accordingly to depending on the values. For example, applying the renewal discount only if the transaction type is a renewal actually. So we are not going to apply a discount for any new business and so on so, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is why we are talking about the context definitions, which uses a different tags, and based on the tags, that data is going to be passed to the pricing engine, actually, the call pricing procedures. And once the pricing procedure, here we are going to give you the another example here. This pricing procedure, this talks about your different price waterfall, where we are getting the price from the price book, and then we are giving a discounting, then we are running your renewal discounting because my transaction type is a renewal, right? The one that you the flow that he was showing, the Aman, right? Aman was showing you something, right? So this is
Mm-hmm.
what we call pricing procedure here. So you see all three are connected here. Context definition, the pricing procedures, and the decision table in between, right? Similarly, I talked about the
Tax.
context definition means the sales transaction, what all context we are going to play, what means what all attribute we are going to choose. And then this data will push to the pricing procedure, right? The flow, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But this context is passed into the pricing engine and the pricing logic will act differently depending on the values. Okay. Now, once these price waterfall is rule logics is run, you have your different decision tables. I'm just giving you lots of example here. One is called volume range 1 to 5, then 0%, right? So based on this volume decision table, discount table, this discount logic will run. Then we call account type wise. If for SMB, let's give a 10%. For enterprise, let's give a 15%. For government, let's give a 20%, right? So within that pricing procedures waterfall, you can introduce a different decision table or discount table, and those discount table will have these entries. The lookup table will have these entries. Similar to your price rule lookup table. Okay.
Okay.
But they call lookup table, you call decision table is all same.
Yes.
Okay. Now, how this data is flowing, you see, just read this one, put it all together. We call contact definition, pricing procedures, decision table, and the final pricing. This pricing procedure itself, they are using the decision table, and this decision table we say lookup table also sometimes.
Yeah, here you see if volume
So
discounting here, and we add this decision table here, volume discounting, so that it will fetch the volume discounting from this particular entries. And
correct.
if it matches the
So
entry here, it will apply the discount.
you see the screen, right? Aman's
Yeah, yeah,
screen.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
here we have all the mappings, lower bound, upper bound,
exactly.
product. So it will just fetch from the lookup table from here,
Yeah.
and it will fetch the entry from here, volume discounting, and it will apply to that particular product if it match the entries for any particular product.
Okay, these flows will be auto-defined by Salesforce
Yeah,
or
yeah, yes,
Ah,
yes. It will be automatically. We will show you when we start hands-on how you will create this. So these all are automatically mapped and created by Salesforce. We don't need to create all these flow manually. You see, this is a big flow.
Yeah.
So we don't need to create all these things. We just need to click on one object and this will automatically create it. So we will let you know how to do that and how to create this. So this will be automatically created and automatically mapped by Salesforce, all these things. And one more thing, just for small examples. So here we have very less fields from CPU. If we compare with CPU, we just have name, product record type, code, active, asset table, specification type, and here we don't have code, subscription type, subscription pricing, all these
Yeah.
things. We don't have all these things here. We just have small things, availability date. You see this availability date, end life, discounted date, discontinued date, and we have here. So they give a lookup option here. What should be the type of the product? If it's one time, yearly subscription, half yearly subscription, monthly subscription, you just need to just create a record here called product selling model. So here we have product selling model. Product selling model entries we have here. So we have one time, term based yearly, half yearly, evergreen, term based monthly, evergreen monthly. So we just have these entry. Yeah, and we need to create this one time, and then accordingly our business requirement, we just need to create first, add this in our product selling model, then we add our pricing here, price book entry. Then one main part is here, we need to assign it to a category. Unless until you need to assign it to a category, you're not able to see your product in UI. So if I show you one example here
Can you
on
stop for a moment?
yeah, yeah,
So you understand, Rakesh and Akash, we have two things we have to do before we start with doing your product configuration. The first step where we are going to like show you how the contact definition, the pricing procedures, and what you call the mapping is going to be done. Okay, these are all initial steps that you have to do. Okay. Salesforce does provides by default all these pricing procedures and contact definitions in a standard way. But based on the company requirement, you can go ahead and extend it. And then you go ahead and activate it, and then you go ahead and set up into your what do you call admin engine, call a Salesforce RLM engine. Okay, the backend one processes. Until unless these are not connected, until unless these are not activated, you will not be able to see your reflections, your changes, your product pricing, anything. It won't, even though you are not able to open your catalog also, right? So the first part is very much important. In terms of once the contact definitions, pricing procedures, your sales transaction context, these are all three set up, activated, then you are going to supposed to create your bundles, standalone product, your attributes, and so and so. Okay. So I think in 10 minutes, we are going to close this session. Before we close the session, let's try to see for one standalone product. And if we are creating a product, what all three steps that we have to follow? Creating a product, activating it, adding to the selling model, and adding to the price book, and adding to the catalogs and categories. That's it. Let's
yeah.
take particular what you call the actions. Okay, and then we are going to add to the code, and we are going to see how the sync will happen. And once we have synced that product, and then how it is going to be appear in our what you call the code product catalog. That is fine, Akash.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Yeah.
So
okay, thank
let's
you.
suppose we create one product, Salesforce Agent Force. Yes, 24, make it active and just give a availability date. Let's see first, and that's it. So these are according to your business requirement. Whatever field we have, we just create, edit the entries accordingly. Then next step is come to related. Now we just click a new entry, click on new, and let's say it's the yearly subscription and save it. Second step is this. Then we have third step. We need to add the entry here. So same here.
So
First
with
you need to add the
so with the second step, we defined that this is a subscription product and it's an annual subscription, correct?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, term based yearly. And we just when we create an entry, again we need to add product selling model here, and we need just give a pricing here, and we click on save. So if you see, I did not add this product to any category.
Mhm.
And if I come to a test code, and if you see the product is active,
Yeah.
pricing, price book is also added,
Yes.
but we not add this to any particular category. So it not be able to see on any catalog. If we click any catalog, we not able to see this product
Okay.
because this is not assigned to a particular category. So if you see, nothing is here. Let me add this to this particular category. Click on assign. So you have option here. Let me add this to commercial AI bundle. I add this, click on save, come here, refresh it.
So now it is part of a bundle under that category.
No.
Then
This is a standalone product. It will be part of this particular category, and it will show. So these all are basically the categories you need to assign.
No, these
If
are
it
not category. It is written catalogs, right?
yeah, catalogs, and under catalog you have categories,
Okay.
subcategories. So commercial bundle. So these are basically
Okay.
for
They are categories. Okay.
yeah, these are basically for categorization of products, so that sale rep just come
Okay.
to any catalog and just click on the product and you're able to see the product. So
to
if you
make a
see,
product, part of any catalog, so we have to include it in any category, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
this is the main part here. You have to assign it to a category. So if you see, we added this to a commercial AI bundle, okay,
Yeah.
but it is not visible here.
Yeah. Sync is
Yeah,
because of sync. Yeah.
because of sync. Yeah.
Okay.
So we just come to setup again and search here for. So you have two options.
This time
Either
we have to
search
sync only price book, right?
Yeah, either you need to just click on this main button,
Right.
Salesforce sync.
Hmm.
Yeah, you see, this will give
Is
error.
it?
Yeah,
Why?
yeah, this is a backend error. There,
They were saying like only 20 times you can refresh, right?
yeah.
Okay.
All
So
backend errors are coming from the product team actually.
yeah, so here we have price book entries. Okay, so we come here. So this is refreshed last time at 5233. 3. Now I refresh it.
Yeah.
Let's wait for 2-3
So
minutes.
decision table means entire thing, everything got refreshed now, right?
Yeah,
So
every entries will be refreshed. Price book entries for every products.
yeah.
If we update any product pricing or anything, this will be
Yeah.
updated here from here.
Right. Okay.
So we just wait for 2 to 3 minutes. Then we able to see our product in our UI. So if you see here, these all three are major part when we enter the price book entry. So you know, lookup is there for product,
Yeah.
price book entry, and one is product selling model, and then we just add our pricing, whatever price we have to align to that particular product.
So what is a catalog, Aman?
So catalog is basically a name that we give to any group of products. So let's suppose here give we have different group of products in our according to business. Let's suppose we have a cybersecurity company. So we have one-time products. So accordingly, company will give, they say we want this particular product in this particular category. So you have to just create catalog here.
It is
So
just like a hardware catalog and then software catalog.
yeah,
If you
you
have a
just
hardware catalog, you can go ahead and create a one catalog name called hardware. Under hardware, you can have a what you call category. Category for
category.
suppose air conditions or laptop, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you see here, so we have a different categories called laptop, desktop, and this
Okay.
is
And after that, we'll be assigning product to the categories.
Yes.
So that it
Categories.
will be
Yeah,
part of the catalog. Okay.
category. Yeah, yeah. The so price book
So
entry is refreshed.
we can add both bundle and standalone product to categories, correct?
Yeah, yeah, correct, correct. We can
Okay.
add in a, so it is according to, so let's suppose we want to add bundle to different category. So we can just add every bundle in one category. And if you want to add one-time products in one category, so we can add that in that particular catalog and then category.
Mm-hmm.
So here our pricing is synced. Let me refresh the code.
These things looks okay. I mean, it's similar to, I mean, if you learn this, it will be okay. But that context definition, decision table, tags, those are little different. Those are never a part of CPQ before, right?
Yeah, yeah, these are not the part.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are new things. So
Yeah.
many other things are also different from
Yeah. Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
You see this?
Yeah.
Now
Now
you're
it is
able to
available
see the
because you sync,
Salesforce. Yeah,
because
before,
sync.
because
Yeah.
we sync this and
Yeah.
it is refreshed, and now we able to see the product here.
Okay.
So here we have this range icon button. So this will be enabled.
So whenever, I mean, range icon will be
Yeah, no, yeah,
applicable whenever we have a bundle product, isn't it? This
yeah, yeah,
is allowed, you have written
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
That's
We
right.
make this as allowed, so that's
Yeah.
why it
The
is,
range icon is good. Yeah.
yeah, range icon is
Yeah. Yeah. Got it.
enabled here, but if we disallow it, it will not be enabled here.
Right.
So just,
It's similar to CPQ.
yeah, yeah, similar to CPQ. Just, so here we have just range icon, here we have this symbol, and then just click on add, and then click on save code, and this line item will be added here.
can you stop for a moment? I think probably I have to jump also in another call, guys. I think that's it for today. It's just like a startup of the training program, right? So
Yeah.
let's plan for the another meeting and sessions. In next meeting and session, we are going to discuss about how we are going to create the contact efficient
Yeah. Yeah.
price procedures, the second part that we have to do. Okay. And then down the line in the sessions, we'll talk about how to create a catalog. Under the catalog, how to create a category. Under category, how we are going to create a product and their attribute, their pricing, discounting, and everything. Step by step procedures. Okay.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the moment Aman will do one exercise, you guys will be sharing the screen. You already have the access in the Salesforce org.
Yeah.
But you guys go ahead and create. I do not want ask you to touch contact definitions and the pricing procedure much. But before digging into the contact definition and pricing procedures, let's do the other stuff hands-on. And then later on, you can just go ahead and play around with your contact definition and everything. Because it's very, I don't have like a multiple org because I do not want to play around with those contact definitions much. Because if you touch the definitions and you have removed something, we are not going to take, we are not going to like get any what you call support from the Salesforce, right? So better to be a very like what they call process before we do anything at the configuration level.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's do a hands-on in the upcoming sessions. Okay,
But we'll see that context definition, what is it, and the
100%,
tags. Yeah. Yeah.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
Until unless we are not going to visualize and do like
Yeah. Right.
practice, you will not be able to like understand here, right? So
Right. And
let's do.
another question, Aman, you will be providing us the licenses or we will be assigning to ourselves?
Yeah, I will assign you in the
Okay.
next class. Yeah,
Sure.
one
Sure.
by one we will assign every permission set and
The
licenses.
license. Okay.
Yeah, then we will start. So one of you create the contact definition, and the rest of the exercise you both will do for yourself,
Okay.
like product, standalone product.
Yeah. Yeah.
bundle product. So you both create according to your requirements, and you will test on your test codes and testing accounts. You both create your account test code opportunities, and we will work around that.
Okay.
Mm.
Thanks everyone. Thanks for your this what you call joining this training program. And happy to meet you one more time in our next upcoming session. We will try to collaborate through WhatsApp messages and email. We'll try to send out. And once this meeting recording is available in my meeting recording workspace, we'll try to share those links in our
Sure.
group. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you, Akash. Thanks,
Thank you.
Rakesh, for your
Thank you.
time.
Thank you, Amber. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.